Well, looking back at this season for the Bearcats, the team finished with a 1-9 record, but I don't think we're the only two people who can say that they're a much better team this year. As you said at the beginning of the year, I don't think many teams are looking forward to coming to Chuck Noll Field and playing St. Vincent. How do you sum up the year for your team, and what are some of the highlights of the year for you?
Our team was exactly the way I thought it would be. I said on many occasions, we're going to be a better team. And we were a better team. I also said on many occasions, I don't know how many wins that's going to translate into, and it only translated into one win. But the reality of it is we were competitive in every game we played in, with the exception of two. The two playoff teams in our league, Thomas More and Washington Jefferson, are the two NCAA playoff teams in our league, and we weren't very competitive with them yet. But we were in every other game that we played, and I can't say that in the about the 2007 season. So we've made improvements. I don't have all the numbers yet in terms of statistics, but again, I think I know when a team is improving, and we did make a lot of improvements. Highlights of the year obviously would be the Gallaudet win, when we finally got a win. That was a big highlight for us. Our kids worked hard, and they deserved to win. Some of the low points, I'll tell you, is when we went down to Thomas More and didn't really compete against them. That was a low point for us. But probably not as much as some of the games where we were in and had opportunities to win. We just couldn't close the deal. Now the expectations are going to be higher next year. I was told before we went into this season that you're going to be frustrated this year because you're going to be a better team, but you may not win any more games, and that came out to be true. We were frustrated because we were better, but we didn't win as many games as we would like to. Now we're going to raise the expectations. I throw out models of Seton Hill. They're in their 4th year, and they're into the 2nd round of the NCAA playoffs. LaGrange College down in Georgia is in the 3rd year of their existence. They're a 9-1 team, and they made the NCAA playoffs. So when you look at those models and how they've done it, you can do it. I'm not predicting we're going to the playoffs. Obviously, we're not even eligible for playoffs yet, but you can become a better team by constant good recruiting and your players investing in themselves in the offseason in the weight room.
Well, talking a little bit about individual performances for St. Vincent, the President's Athletic Conference this week announced their all-conference teams, and St. Vincent had 7 players recognized, including center Kelly Nepshield, one of our guests from the show this year, defensive back Roscoe Barber, Killian Reed, Jarris Marlowe, tight end Jake Abelt, John Jackson, and Anthony Johnson. First off, Coach, what are the criteria? What's the nomination and the voting process for the All-Conference Awards? And what does it mean for the team to have 7 guys selected? What's it say for the progress?
Well, when we vote for all conferences, I don't even get a vote yet because we're still a provisional member of the NCAA. But the process is you nominate your players, and those who get the top votes, like say linemen, the top 5 linemen get the votes, and they're the first team, second team, etc. In this coaches award, it's like being all conference, but because again we're still a provisional member of the NCAA, they can't be named all conference yet. But that's the coaches recognize them when you put them up for a coaches award nomination, and if they agree that they would be in the top, all conference one, first team or second team or honorable mention, then they'll agree to give them a coaches award, and that's a coach's honor. So that's a good sign for our kids that other coaches are noticing them. And you look at some of those young men. Roscoe Barber, he returned 2 interceptions for touchdowns. Jarris Marlowe has the longest run from the line of scrimmage in the league this year at 93 yards. So that's saying that we're recruiting the right type of people. Anthony Johnson finished 4th in the league, I believe, in tackling, and he basically played 8.5 ball games. So those are young freshmen, and so that I think that speaks well to the future here when your young freshmen are getting those kind of numbers in a very competitive league.
Well, I know it may be a little early to make any sorts of predictions or anything, but Coach, what are your goals for the off season, for the summer, and then some of the early goals for the 2009 season?
In the off season, again, it's to maintain the core of our present team. We want to. Sometimes again, you have to recruit your own team back because of a lot of different reasons. So that's goal number one. Goal number two is to bring in another freshman class that will give us the kind of athletic ability that we need to compete here. And then if I look down the road for next season, I expect to win ball games, as I think our team does. Again, we can't accept 0 and 10, 1 and 9 anymore. We have to now move up our expectations to have some success and make sure that we're becoming more competitive in the league than we were this year. So that's our goal. I'm not going to put out numbers there. That's crazy to put out numbers, but I do know that we'll be a better team next year, and I think our fans, our players, our administration, our student body, they'll expect us to win some games, and we have those same expectations. We opened up the season at McDaniel College. That was the team we played here as a home opener this year, and we're going to travel down there. Presently, I have 9 games scheduled. We're working on a 10th game, and we're actually trying to get it so our open week isn't week 10. I didn't like week 10 as an open week, and there's a couple schools that have openings that week, so we're trying to schedule them for next year. But our goal is to continue to improve. If you ask me what our goal is for the 2009, I expect us to improve, and that improvement now should translate into some wins.